Hi, I'm Nick from Whipped Up Gaming, and today we're bringing you a video of Prisoner 518 playthrough, and that will consist of the tutorial and the main first level. And this is the latest build from March 2020, and as I play I'm going to narrate and give some insights into the game itself. And without further ado, let's begin. So, Prisoner 518 is set in 2049 and is a sci-fi adventure game. It's a puzzler, a psychological horror, and has a motif of escape rooms.
If there's ever a place called hell, then this is it. A corporate-run prison. A secret place. A place that doesn't exist in the minds of ordinary folk. I don't know how I got here. I don't know why I'm here. But I am here. And what I do know is that there's one way in and there's one way out. And nobody's getting out. I'm 518, and this is my story. Have mercy on my soul.
So that was the intro to 518, which acts like a prologue to the game. And one of the main things about Prisoner 518 and why it has come to be is because I'm a huge fan of story structure, and I wanted to see how I could use a conventional 10-point system which is used in, say, Hollywood movies or even books, and use that as a foundation to build this game. And like any good beginnings, there should be like a way to set the scene and ground the player very quickly. And also heard the protagonist that you play give a little intro. So here we're on the main menu, and as you can see we have some accessibility here, so we can have subtitles, as you can see. And hopefully, if all things are successful, we will add localization. It's all in place ready, but we'll see. But I thought that was worth noting. So let's get to it and jump straight in. So here you can see you can have up to 5 game slots. And there's a level select here which is only available in preview copies, and that will be sent out prior to release. And as you can see, there are 9 levels. That's 8 levels, and that's including the tutorial. And hopefully this should equate to around 6 to 7 hours of gameplay. We're hoping. Okay, so let's start. And the game's music was composed by Luca Faginini. I hope I didn't ruin his surname there. The guy was great. He's composed nearly 250 original tracks for this game. His one core idea for the music was to have a dynamic kind of music scene that's reminiscent of how a movie would use music. You see what I mean? So here we are in the starting sound. So a story structure is a massive thing for me. This is what would be considered the opening, a typical day in the life of the prisoner. And obviously this is the tutorial as well.
Prisoner 518.
So there's some
Report to work
items
duties immediately.
dotted around. So now we know some basic control methods.
Warning, you have 5 seconds to comply.
And that is the voice, the AI voice for the space station, which actually was voiced by Jesse Tang, who was absolutely amazing and absolutely nailed it. So this lift system was not actually shown, but it's going through different floors for things like recreation, medical, food, but we're on our way to work.
Proceed to the workstation. Here, you shall construct a control cabinet. To your left, you'll find a tool to remove interactable panels. Also to your left, there are items you can pick up and use to interact with. In this instance, they are used to build the cabinet. If you require further assistance, please follow the instructions via the console button to your right.
So, as a tutorial should do, it introduces game mechanics that you'll come across in the game as you progress. And here we see an electrical cabinet, and on the lid there will be a basic schematic that should reflect what's inside the cabinet and give you clues to how to solve the puzzle, because these will be used for puzzles in the game. But in this instance, as we're a prisoner, we're doing our day-to-day, and what this corporate prison does is make us work. So we build a jolly life. And of course, we're introduced to one of the first tools. So we build this, and like I was saying, for in respect of story structure, we've had the opening where we see what we're experiencing right now. The next step will be the inciting incidents, an event that will change everything.
Attention! Return to your cell immediately. We are experiencing a technical difficulty.
So that was the inciting incident. So there's been an explosion, and of course, excuse me, the cable. What's a horror game without an elevator sequence? And that's the tutorial finished. So now we wake up in our prison cell, and as we can see, we are no longer locked in. If we look around, the player will find cartons. A bit hard to read right now, but this is food cartons, and there's lots of them. Plates, glasses, And it really should tell the gamer that the prisoner's been here for a little while in this state. And we come into a massive, expansive area, which is the prison block, one of them. A reminder that it once was working, kind of. So obviously one of the biggest questions right now is, where is everybody? And where have they gone? So of course you're a prisoner, the natural instinct is to get free for most people. And we come out into the main area and we might see some interesting things. You can try and piece together the story. So I'll just quickly show over here is the staff canteen, I suppose you would say. The vending machine. As we can see, it's been forced open perhaps. And the gamer should be able to put two and two together. That is the prisoner that's done this. As we look around, over there we can see the door, which is an exit, so that's always a thing we should aim for, I'd imagine. The basement, which everyone loves to go to, the maintenance room. So let's venture around the desk. So it's common to come across items that are not working or are faulty. Sometimes you have to try and fix them. So here we have the communal communications PC, and they're worth reading, sometimes to give you backstory or sometimes to give you clues. And this one here saying about the basement and fix the damn main door because it keeps getting jammed, so that's a clue. And the next one we see about security key cards and not to leave them laying around, especially not in drawers. So we check a drawer and voila, we have a key card. No inventory system at the moment because why would you have one being a prisoner? And we have a swipe here, yellow, makes sense. Tool belt collection, sounds good. So see that, we now have an inventory system. And if on this particular level there are transparent drop zones, then you know your things to collect. So now we have the joys of venturing into the basement. First, remove the hatch, one thing we learned in the tutorial. And generally when you have climbable objects, you'll find that when you touch them they'll highlight red to let you know, which is also useful where it's dark. Tiny little scare there to heighten the tension. After all, it's a psychological horror, and yes, it's very dark. but always follow the light. So we come into this room and we see we have a cabinet, just like the ones we used to make. So in this case here, you can see everything's green, which is always good. It's a good sign. Door states inactive. This is the main control button. Awesome. There's an error, it's only partially open. So if we look up, that's good enough for us. So let's get out. So yeah, the art style, some people might be wondering about, was definitely keen for a low poly style, but we didn't want to do the low poly that everybody does, so we would like every other game. We wanted to try and be a little bit unique about it. So we went for a mixed lighting system with real-time shadows and AO, and yes, it's dark in places, but it's not dark everywhere. And probably the basement is, in fact, the darkest place. So yeah, it's simple. We wanted it that way. We didn't want busy texturing and so forth, because we know that in the older gen headsets, what most people are probably still using, it doesn't look too good. So yeah, as we can see, we have some signs. There'll be signs everywhere to give you a kind of footing and to help you. I'm just spinning around to untangle myself. So we've got the admissions room here. There's another door there to open. So that's the old graphic for the communal communications. Anyway, so we find a hatch, climb up and get a drill. Okay, this looks good. So we just heard something in the background, which sounds good. And we go down. So like I say, the main thing about Prisoner 518 was to prove to myself whether we could use commercial story structure as used in Hollywood movies. So that's good. Nice bit of tension rising. I really could have done a fantastic job with the music.
Jonah? Oh, yeah, it is. I've not seen anyone for these 2 weeks. Not a soul. Didn't think you made it.
So this is what
Now,
we'd call
things have
the
been
impact
screwed up
character.
around here, something crazy. So it's a good job
His
we found
purpose
each
is
other.
to
We
impact
can help each other, see?
the character, funny enough.
Just give me a minute. I'm working on this door here. And then we can
And
get
voiced
going.
by Mel Shiner,
Get out of
who's
this place.
absolutely
Escape.
amazing.
Here, do me a favour.
So
See that
his-
panel below the door button?
His role in
Take
this
it off
game,
and give it a
anyway,
hand for
is
us.
to give objectives to the player. So he's kind of like, you consider the objective screen you'd use in most conventional games that tells you where to do, where to go, where, and so forth. Like this guy, but the objective guy here is a voice. And sometimes
Awesome. Well done, man.
he'll have fun
Man?
with you.
Man? I remember this guy always had a saying. If you only work half the time,
Blah,
you'll
blah,
only
blah,
ever
blah.
be half the man that you could have been. But, like everything else, there you go. Door is functional. See you in a bit, Jonah.
So yeah, so we're talking about story structure and the 10-point system that's generally used for Hollywood movies. I mean, I challenge you actually to watch a movie, any 2-hour movie set. I guarantee you around the 15-minute mark, every 15 minutes, if we take a couple of minutes, there'll be a major turning point in that story. Guarantee it. You'll never see movies the same again. But anyway, so I'm using that structure as a foundation for this game, which will be subsequently we'll do for all games.
Come on, Master Staff Lift. If you think you're going to get anywhere that way, trust me, man. Follow me.
So you see, sometimes he likes to play with you. He's telling me not to go this way, but this is a lift. Lifts get you places, right? So we've got a key card there, so let's give that a go. okay. But we have door panels. So there's always a way. As we can see, an emergency door release. So pump the handle slowly, and it lifts up a little bit. So yeah, talking about story structure and that, the great thing about obviously the structure system is it allows you to like create a game where tension and conflict and complexity is always building and building and building until obviously you get to the finale. So you get no boring, grindy spots in the middle. So that was really the main aim on why this game was written. Well, the story was written for this game. Was really to prove that it can work in games. So that's enough. So interestingly enough, after this project, we actually have 4 projects already written, because I have studied, what am I doing? I have studied story structure for nearly a decade now, and I have many stories written. And so the next 2, no lift, the next 2 will be concentrating on player and NPC interaction, because I think it's incredibly important in VR, and I think it's ground we've not really progressed on so much. Anyway, let me just show you something. Yes, you can die. So you come to this death screen, continue or quit, and it spawns you where you died. And talking of spawn points, as you progress through each level, it will also save your progression so that you can pop into a menu and click reload. Or obviously, if you load a saved game, you'll start from that last point, which is quite useful, of course. Yeah, so sorry if I'm rambling a little bit. I do have some notes, but being in VR, it's kind of hard to read them.
Okay, so up ahead is a main artery of the space station. You can get anywhere, but we'll not be having clearance for that usage. But we can cut through to maintenance. See?
Always hiding.
You'll work it out.
Attention. Corridor highway closed. Weak structure detected.
Okay, so this would
Find
be
alternative
a way to travel around the
routes.
station very quickly, but of course if we had that option it would make for a very fun game. But at least we know there's two areas, one's called communications and command center, so like foreshadowing, as we like to call it, or it's called. There we go, into maintenance it seems. I'll promise you that the whole game is not orange, okay. Head into the compressor room, obviously I know where to go, so it's the shortest route. Coming to a very noisy room. Again we have another PC here, which is worth reading because you get some tips. And also, these are connected as well, so you know sometimes they're talking to each other. So you can get a bit of backstory on the station if you like that sort of thing. But here, this is important, the access panel in the power room, which is just down there. So there's an access panel. And this guy, Mark, keeps a copy of the code written down. He does that in a sci-fi in the future. I know where it is. Nice neat handwriting. As you can probably tell that the technology looks a bit retro in some ways, and that was deliberate as well, because this station's been out in a So this station's been in an unknown star system for a long time. This corporate prison puts their prisoners to work, how dare they. So here we go, we've got another cabinet. So the whole game's not based on cabinets, just to let you know. As you can see there's another holder there for another tool, which is a kind of hacking tool which you discover in the next level, and that allows you to plug it into any terminals you come across so you can hack PCs and so forth like that. So it gets a bit more interesting. So here's an example of schematics. So as you can see it all kind of reflects what's going on. Power room, so we've got two breakers, that one leads to it's not doing anything, they're both on. So my guess would be to turn that one off, and it gives us access. And the music's gone quiet. Okay, let's get a book. Whoa.
Boom. What took you? Seems the station is in worse shape than I expected. Not good when stuck in the middle of some unknown star system, eh? Anyway, let's just get to the main security and bug out of the prison. Through that door. Then we'll be roaming free around the station. Trust me. Easy.
So, not only is the Impact character a kind of quest giver, he's also perhaps an unreliable one at that. Or is he? As you progress through the game, you'll discover different kind of elements happening. So he's got a kind of character arc. You the player kind of have one, but mostly you'll be creating it as you play. The space station itself has one, which you'll discover as you play, and as you know it started off with an explosion. We had the AI letting us know that there's weak structures around the main corridor, and as you progress you'll come across destruction sequences, which are good fun puzzle sequences. You'll enjoy those. Anyway, so this is the end of the level. If you have any questions, I mean, you can fire a comment below. And as you saw, I just entered the keypad a giant keypad, which was VR, and when I press this button it's all over, and I'll leave it for the impact character to say goodbye.
Toodles.